This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Austin Lewis.
Welcome to the Good Neighbor Podcast. Are you in need of a physical therapist? Well, one actually might be closer than you think. Today, I have the great pleasure of introducing your good neighbor, Nicki McDaniel with Body Mechanix. Nicki, how's it going today?
Wonderful.
Lovely. Great to hear. Well, I will tell you that we are excited to learn all about you and your company. So let's just kind of start at the top here. Tell us a little bit about Body Mechanix.
Well, this is actually the 15th year anniversary of Body Mechanix. So
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it's a big year.
That's awesome. Well, so 15 years in the industry, have you always been locally?
Well, I was actually a physical therapist for 10 years before that.
Wow. Okay. Well, let's dive into it. How did you get started in the industry?
Well, I was actually on my way to medical school, and I had a little curbing of events that opened my eyes up to a whole new avenue. I had a rough little patch in my life where I lost my mother when I was very young. And while she was in the hospital, I met my first physical therapist. And it was in a space in my life where I knew I wanted to help people, but I just didn't know exactly what the avenue for that was going to be. But I had always been drawn to medicine. So that was kind of just the direction I was headed in. And during about 2 weeks of being in a hospital, I recognized that there were some changes happening in Western medicine that just didn't seem fitting for me to become a doctor. And so I also met a physical therapist who was able to spend like 45 minutes with my mother, when she really needed someone to be very present for her. And it was so comforting. And I felt so comforted by the therapist as well, because she really stayed with us. And I saw that was more what I thought I wanted to do, was to actually get that intimate one-on-one time with a person where like we had 45 minutes. It wasn't, a 5-minute visit with a doctor.
Right.
It changed my whole path.
That's wonderful. And then Body Mechanix was born, what you said, 15 years or 10 years later after that?
Yeah. So
That's awesome.
I went to that same year. I basically just halted. I was going to take the MCAT that summer, the summer that my mom passed away in 2000. Wow, I'm blanking on that right now, but that part's not important. The most important part was that as soon as I made the decision, everything started coming together. And within a year, I was in PT school. And I finished my biology degree, and 3 weeks later, I started graduate school.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, it seems like you've been around the industry for like 15 years or so. Tell our listeners, what are some myths or maybe some misconceptions that kind of float around the, physical therapy industry?
Like, well, give me another twist on that. Like, I could go so many angles with that.
So simply put, how can I say this? What are some myths that maybe some people that aren't as educated as you think that are right, that now that you've been in the industry for 15 plus years, that you're like, that's definitely a misconception?
I do think that a lot of people think that physical therapy has to be painful. That actually is not accurate. In fact, if someone is in physical therapy and they're having pain and that doesn't feel like the right path for them, I would challenge them to look in another direction and not give up on physical therapy.
All right. Well, we know that marketing is the heart of every business. So I'm curious, what are your target customers and how do you normally attract them? Because you're saying that they don't always have to be in pain, right?
Well, physical therapy doesn't always have to be painful. Like a
Mm.
lot of people think that if they go to physical therapy, it's going to hurt. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Well, like
Yeah.
who are your target customers then?
Well, mine, I have a very broad array of things that I do at this point, but I can go anywhere from the athlete that's just got a little tennis elbow that likes to play pickleball, to somebody who wants to go deeper into their healing work, where they want to work with a little bit of these Eastern medicine techniques, where we can get into more of what we call energy work, where you're actually, it sounds very complex, but if you think about our body, just that we eat food and then that food turns into energy, and that's how our body works, right? So if you just look at yourself like a battery, and you want to have energy flowing throughout the whole battery, right? And what Chinese medicine is especially really good at is talking about the concept of qi. And so qi flow and acupuncture are all things that work with this concept of getting the flow of energy through the physical body. So I do some techniques that are not acupuncture, but I am working in that same way. I do a technique called craniosacral that works with basically the fascial system deep within the body, and it unwinds things like the respiratory diaphragm, the pelvic floor, and those are kinds of areas where in our lifetimes, depending on what we've been through, we learn how to hold tension in our body. And so some of these deeper techniques I do release those really deep levels of tension within the physical body.
This is very fascinating, Nikki. Have you ever thought about doing your own podcast?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Awesome.
You want to help me do that, Austin?
Hey, we'll see. We could talk. Well, let's transition a little bit. Nikki, let's get to know you outside of work when, you're not helping everybody recover. What do you normally like to do for fun?
Activity wise?
Yeah, like outside of work, what do you normally do?
Yeah. Oh, tons of activities. I mean, I really love hiking. Being out in nature is kind of my go-to for grounding, right? Because when I work with people, the more social your work is, the more you need that time to get grounded in nature, right? And quiet. And so I really like to be outside, and I like to ride bikes. I'm a skier. I hike the most probably because that's easy to access. But I love even just going to Forest Park. I bet I go at least once a week just and get a really good hike in and just get to see all the beauty of Portland. And I feel
Yeah,
really blessed that I can go on an epic hike this close to my office.
literally, I feel the same way. Well, we are almost out of time. So, Nikki, leave our listeners with one thing that they should remember about body mechanics.
Well, I'm here for you. I'm here, and whatever goals that you have, I'm here to be your partner in crime to accomplish your goals and empower yourself to the limits that your mind can believe.
Yeah, well, there's one word on the tip of every listener's tongue, and that word is how. So tell our listeners how they can find out more about body mechanics.
Well, I have my website. It's www.bodymechanics.com, or there's a PDX in there, bodymechanics.pdx.com. You can reach me there very simply. Send me an email. Also, all my information's on there. So you can also contact me with Google Voice.
Awesome. Well, Nikki, I really do appreciate you for hopping on the podcast. We do wish you and your business the best moving forward.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Austin.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnpportland.com. That's gnpportland.com. Or call 971-626-1977.